Double R, episode number 11. I'm pumped. Nick Pasqua, new head coach at Coker Basketball. So I love how we met.
Yeah.
So I go to my in-laws' house to pick up my little girl.
Yep.
I get there, and she's got her new best friend,
Yep.
your daughter.
Right away.
Right away, they were like instant buddies.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
No, Riley can become best friends with just about anybody. So no, they hit it off from the first minute they walked across the yard there.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was, I love the letter Riley made. She was like, "Will you be my best friend? Yes or no?"
She's a writer. She loves to write letters. If you're her friend, you're getting a note from her. So
Yeah.
She's a sweet girl.
Teal's gonna be going to Grandma's house a lot more now.
That's good. We can take them on anything that occupies her too for an hour or two. We'll take.
So 4 kids.
Yeah, 4 of them. Yeah,
4 of them just moved from Spartanburg to Hartsville.
Yeah.
All right, you got to tell me, what's that like? What's that move like?
Yeah, chaos. Yeah, that's a nice way to say it.
Yeah.
And, but no, it's been we've enjoyed Hartsville so far. We enjoyed our time in Spartanburg. Spartanburg has gotten big.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, it has gotten. We were there for a little over 3 years, and they just built the minor league baseball stadium downtown, and downtown had really started kind of been revitalized. And I think a lot of people were moving out of the Greenville area more towards the Spartanburg area, and then on the side of Spartanburg we were living on the east side, you were 55 minutes to Charlotte. An hour to Charlotte, and so I think we were right kind of in the middle of those really big cities, and Spartanburg was really becoming one too. And the opportunity here at Coker was one we were excited about, and wanted to get maybe to a little slower pace, not quite as big as Spartanburg, and Hartsville certainly has been that so far. So,
So take us through that process.
Yeah.
You're at Converse University, working at Converse in Spartanburg. And Coker calls, kind of what's that process for you?
Yeah, so it's coaching searches are crazy. Even at the Division II level, they can go all kinds of different ways. And we were actually on vacation at the beach, and this happened really, really late. It was the first week of June, and the coach that was at Coker, they'd had a really good, successful season the year before. He got an opportunity to go back to West Liberty, which is his alma mater, and they've won a national championship, probably a top 10 Division II program in the country. And so that left a vacancy here at Coker, and had some connections there. We had competed against them and beat them the year before when I was at Converse, and so I think that certainly helped some. And so it was really late for a coaching search, and it happened fast. Like most coaching searches, you think of April, 1st of May, right at the end of March.
Yeah.
And so all this happened. Like we had made plans to for sure be at Converse this year, and thought nothing really was going to come open. There had been some other opportunities we'd looked at in the spring that got to the final 2 or 3 and just didn't work out. And then so this, by the middle of June, the search was over, and they'd offered the job, and so it happened in about a 2-week span, and then we had to get down here by the end of July because kids started school July 31st, and so it was a expedited process on all fronts. So
yeah. So what's your basketball journey like? I mean, no offense, you're a white dude.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about the basketball journey.
It's been quite the journey. And so played at a D2 school at King University in Tennessee, which is actually in the same league that Converse was in, and Southern Wesleyan, where I was a coach before. So it's in Bristol, Tennessee. So played there for 4. And
he could play, Reeves.
And then worked there for 9. And then worked there for 9
quick.
years. You got to be able to make some shots at my size.
Can you dunk? Can you still dunk?
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
You could though.
I could touch the rim.
I'll
I'll give myself that.
Yeah.
I was never going to try to dunk in the
Point
game.
guard or shooting guard?
Both. Yeah. You play
both.
So.
Okay.
But then worked at King for 9 years. Was fortunate. I worked for a Hall of Fame coach. He'd won over 1,000 games. Was in every Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame you can be in, and so he was my mentor, my coach, and really helped me get my career started. I was an assistant coach at 21. We got beat in the national tournament, and I had told him before the season started I wanted to get into coaching, and we got beat in the tournament. He called me down to his hotel room. I was like, man, I can't be in trouble already. Like, we just got beat. My career's over. Like, what's he want? And he told me our assistant was leaving and asked if I'd be interested in taking his spot. And so I was actually going on recruiting trips before I even graduated. So it was a blessing to be able to get into it, because it's not easy to get into. And then so was there for 9 years. Then I got the head coaching job at Tusculum University, which is in Greenville, Tennessee. So grew up in Knoxville, and then Bristol is at the very northeast tip of Tennessee, and Greenville is right in between them. And so thought I was going to be there for a long time. They're actually in the same league as Coker, and was there for all of 9 months. I was the youngest head coach in the country at the time. The president that hired me had to step down for health reasons, and then I wasn't the new president's guy that came in after, and so I learned the business side of things in a hurry. Yeah. And so this was, I think they'd had 12, somewhere between 10 and 12 straight, either 500 or below seasons. And so this is before the portal starts, where guys can just pretty much, you got free agency in college basketball. And so it was going to take some time to rebuild. And so from there, this is where, the journey really kind of started. The only in South Carolina, the only opportunity I had if I wanted to remain a head coach was at Southern Wesleyan, which is right outside of Clemson.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. And so we got indoctrinated into the Tiger life for sure. But went there on faith pretty much. It was the worst Division II program in the country at the time. They had won a total of 11 games in a 5-year period. They had the lowest, or tied for the lowest amount of scholarships of any Division II around. And I had struck out all spring trying to get a job. My first year at Tusculum, or my only year at Tusculum, we won 6 games. And so you're 31 years old, you just won 6 games. Like, the search firms aren't knocking down your door to interview. And my wife, Spencer, had a really good job in Tennessee. And at the time, we only had the one kid. And so we went on some faith and took the job. This is still before the portal. They had 17 players on a 2-win team, and they had promised all 17 guys they could keep the same scholarship they were on and come back and be a part of the program the next year.
Ooh.
And so I inherited the mess. And so
you did.
We won 2 games my first year. We didn't win a game after Christmas. And so my first 2 years as a head coach, I won 8 games. And so I'm glad you guys had me on the podcast to talk about all the success I had. But then from there, some things started to change. We went from 2 wins to 20 wins in my second year.
Oh, my goodness.
We had the largest turnaround in the country, Division I through Division III, and won the conference championship, made an NCAA tournament. And then COVID showed up.
Can I stop you there for a second? So from 2 wins first year at Southern Wesleyan to 20 wins.
Yeah.
Did you do that with the same players? Did you go overhaul the roster at that point?
Yeah, and that was the first spring of the transfer portal. So it had just started. And we started the year with 17. My first year at SWU, we started the year with 17 players. Like I said, we finished with 7.
Yeah.
And so we had nobody over 6'4" on our roster. And so you think about what a college basketball team looks like.
Robert could have played on that team.
Yeah, he would have been the starting 5-man.
I've still got eligibility. I've still got a little bit. Yeah.
Well, we could have used you that year. I doubt it. So I hope I don't need you this year, but we could have used it. We would have taken anybody that year. And so we were able to utilize the portal that spring. We had three players return off the 7 that were left for that next year's team. And we had to come up with a strategy. We had a very, very small gym. It had about 5 rows of bleachers. It would look like something you went to middle school at. So we didn't have a lot to sell. I mean, we sold Clemson. Like, you can go to some Clemson football games. They were kind of at the height of their power at that time. Yeah. And so we sold. You come here, you're going to play more than where you were. We need guys. And we went after, we weren't going to attract the top level guys in the portal by any means. And so we went to other Division II schools that had success and those guys that were looking to have a bigger role, but they were accustomed to winning. They saw what winning programs look like. They understood kind of what the Division II lifestyle was like, where we ride on buses. We're not flying to games. Like there's long days on the bus. Yeah. And so none of that caught them by surprise in the role we were able to offer them. So we were recruiting like the 7th or 8th man on a really good team that was looking to become, the 1, 2, 3, 4 type guy.
Yeah.
And so it worked out, and that's kind of how we built our roster that year, and went on to have that year. Obviously, we had a lot of success. We didn't get to play in the NCAA tournament because of COVID. Day before we were supposed to leave, they canceled the tournament.
Dang.
And but it was still, we got to end our year on a win. We got to end our year on a win in the championship, and so that was an experience I'll never forget. But moving on from there, we were able to beat USC Upstate one year. The next 2 years after that, or no, the next year we beat them. So we had the first ever conference championship, NCAA tournament. We beat a Division I school, and we averaged 19.5 wins for the next 3 years.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. So then that kind of led to, we were looking for another opportunity at that point, and Converse had just started a men's program. Converse was an all-women's school from 1889 up until 2020, and they started a men's basketball team. They had gone co-ed, and so it was a whole new set of challenges.
So that's how you recruit the guys there is, hey, come,
Yeah.
you got a bunch of women here.
The female to male ratio was certainly.
We might put a few women on the team.
Yeah, it was certainly in our favor, except sometimes we were not. We were looked at as kind of the aliens around campus, like we were out of place. But so there was a guy who had just started the program my last year at Southern Wesleyan, so we were in the same conference, and we had done pretty well against them. And at the time, I was like, I don't really want to go to another rebuild type thing. I would like to try to capitalize on some of the success we've had. And coincidentally enough, the assistant AD at Converse was the assistant AD when I was at Tusculum, and he called me and reached out and like, we'd love to have you here. I'd love to sit down and talk to you about, kind of the opportunity here. And when I got to Spartanburg and kind of went through the area and saw kind of like, okay, it is a little different than what Clemson is, a lot more kind of going on and to do. And so I was kind of intrigued by that. And, it's a unique area. Our campus was right across the street from Wofford, and then you got Upstate right down the road, and you got Spartanburg Methodist, which is now a 4-year school. So you had 4 colleges all within like a 5-mile radius of each other, which you don't see too often as well. And so they had won 6 games in the first year, took over for that. We were able to go 15-15 in my first year, so kind of got things going in the right direction. And then
That's pretty strong.
in year 2, we got off to a 10-1 start. We were in the top 25 in the country, and really, really playing well. We had 2 guys tear a knee up that kind of stymied us a little bit, but finished with 18 wins. And so had three good years at Converse, and then the middle of June got the job here at Coker, and we expedited everything, threw everything on the moving van, and got to Hartsville as quick as we could. So
Wow.
That's incredible. I mean, you've been incredibly successful. Starting,
How old are you now?
39.
Okay, still young. Yeah.
I can't imagine. I mean, especially going to Converse, a program that did not exist, and building that from the ground up and finding the success you found is really incredible. So is that the same blueprint that you're going to bring to Coker? And what's the situation been at Coker?
Yeah.
So hold on, this is interesting. How many guys came with you from Converse to Coker?
8. So
What does that tell you?
So you brought
brought the team.
We brought so and that's kind of the landscape of where things are in college athletics right now too, where you can transfer as many times as you want without having to sit out. And there are if a coach leaves, you've got 30 days to enter the portal, and so that's kind of automatic, and then you're able to pretty much go wherever you want to go. We had 11 seniors on my last team at Converse, and so if there was a right time or an easy time to make a move, like everybody had just graduated, and it wasn't a plan of ours. It just kind of happened. Guys had extra years. They had the COVID year, a medical red shirt here and there for some guys, and everybody got lumped up into the same class by the end of it. And so they were all out the door. And then this opportunity presented. So we assigned eight guys to come to Converse, and I called them all and just like, this is not great timing for anybody. It's June, and I understand that, but it's a great opportunity for myself and our family and the resources that Coker has. They've got a 10-year-old facility that's really, really nice, and they were in the top 25 last year as well. And the South Atlantic Conference is probably one of the top 2 or 3 Division II conferences in the whole country right now. And so they were all on board. They had to go through the process of getting in the portal, and we couldn't have a lot of those conversations till all that stuff happened. And then once they did, they were eager and excited and the wild thing is all 8 of them came, and not one of them came on a visit until the first day they moved in.
That says a lot about you.
So
It really
That
does.
says volumes, man.
So I think they, we try to be as transparent and honest in recruiting as we can be. And this is how we're going to play. This is where we see you. Like I'd much rather get a no in the recruiting process than a pain in the butt when they get to campus. So
how are your players getting accustomed to Hartsville? How are they?
they've
like it?
embraced it. Yeah,
Good.
it's they want to play basketball, and so that's number one. And then if there's girls around, that's number 2.
Yeah.
And then classes.
Are there any?
Yeah,
Do they-
yeah.
Okay.
And then classes fall somewhere in between all of that. So, but no, the facility was an upgrade, and so they were excited about that. A chance to play in the league that we're in. They were excited about that. Hartsville's a unique community. It's got the downtown that pretty much bleeds right into campus, and they can walk downtown and do some different things, and so there's been 0 complaints out of any of them.
That's awesome.
What can not just Hartsville but the PD do to help Coker be successful? What do you need from us?
Well, I think just showing up. We've got almost a 3,000 seat arena that we need to fill, and we need to have. And then that just starts to build interest in the community. And hey, we're never going to be Clemson or South Carolina or any of the big Division Ones where people are checking their calendars to see when they play and are they at home tonight. But just trying to raise awareness in this whole area. I mean, I know we've got us and Francis Marion right here both, and high level basketball is being played at our level, and being able to come out and kids to play in a full arena and those they see the support, that would just go a long ways.
That's cool.
I'm excited to come to games.
Oh, that's good.
That's gonna be awesome.
As long as Teal's there, so she can occupy Riley. Riley will be ready to leave 5 minutes into it. So
Yeah, they'll be running around doing something.
What's the NIL like at D2? We hear, if you're a sports guy, you hear some of the D1 high income athletes, Lenore Sellers and those guys who are making $4 or $5 million. No, but what's D2 like? How are you navigating that as a coach?
So it's slowly starting to creep in. I would say in our league, there's probably 4 schools that are probably pretty active in that arena. We're not there yet. There's the rules are constantly changing too on that, and how the NCAA is trying to govern it and what's allowed and what's not. And at the Division I level, that's all changed with some of the revenue sharing stuff that they're able to now. The schools actually paying directly the players, and then they can still go get NIL opportunities on top of that. And so we're actively trying to figure out what that looks like for a D2. I mean, if you can get a kid to where they don't pay for school and then they're getting, $3,000 to $5,000 for an NIL deal, like that's a game changer for our level. Like that's enough between getting a really good player to think about coming down from the Division I level to the Division II level, and it still gives them a little skin in the game and gives them feels like they're still being recruited at a high level, those type of things. So we're not there yet, and I don't know how we've got to wait to see if, some legislation changes here in January at the probably NCAA convention on how all that will shake out and look for the next few years coming up. But so I think it will become a thing in Division II. You can still be a really successful program at the Division II level without it. That's part of the reason I kind of enjoy this level is you're not dealing with that as much. I mean, we have of our main players, I mean, we still have 8 probably of them that are paying something to go to school. They're not all on full rides where everything's just handed out to them. And we have a few, but we still have several guys that are, it may not be a ton of money, maybe $700 or something, but it's coming out of their pocket instead of going into their pocket. And some of those guys could be starters on low to mid-major type programs too. And so recruiting's wild. It's getting crazier and crazier, but it's certainly prevalent at our level.
The opportunity is there. So for like Greystone Properties, we could do an NIL deal with one of your players, pay them some money, and they could help promote the real estate we do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was the whole intent of what an NIL was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, you're actively doing advertisements. You're using your name. You're using your athletic ability to help businesses promote and sell things. So, that's certainly what it was supposed to be, and then it kind of really deviated from that. And I think they're trying to get that a little bit back under control at this point.
It seems like Division II is still a little bit more pure. It's what college D1 college athletics was maybe 10 years ago.
It is.
Which is really refreshing.
Yeah, no, and I think if you're going to make the commitment, because our schedules are set the same as any Division I is, like as far as the amount of practice we're doing, the weights, the conditioning, the film study. I mean, there's not a whole lot of difference between the Division II and the low major leagues. And when I say low major, not the power level schools, not your P4 type, but those guys fluctuate between the 2 levels all the time transferring.
Okay.
And but if you're gonna do it at our level, it's because you love the game and the experience it brings and being a part of a team. I mean, that's a major reason I got into coaching, just thinking about what that would look like not being a part of a team anymore. And I didn't want that feeling to ever stop. And so since I was 21, I've been associated with college coaching and kind of all I know.
So when you go into a living room and you're talking to the athlete and you're talking to the mom or the dad, what is your pitch? What's your goal for that student athlete 4 years later? So
we've got 4 areas we want to try to help them grow in. We've got 2 A's and we've got 2 S's. So the 2 A's are pretty self-explanatory. That's academically and athletically, and those 2 really take care of themselves on a daily basis. And then we've got the 2 S's are socially and spiritually. Those are 2 areas that we also want to make an impact. And so we feel like, we've had some guest speakers come in this preseason to talk to our guys. We've had somebody come and talk about, he's an agent for overseas players and what that life is like. And if you want to be a pro, these are the things you've got to be doing. And if you're going to live in another country, like these are the socially kind of acceptable things that go on over there. And this is what it's going to be like for you. And then the spiritual part, we don't push it on anybody, but we've got guys coming over to our house tonight to, do a short devotion, those type of things. And just, if we can do all those 4 areas, we feel like we're really kind of rounding them to whatever they want to be. I mean, we've got guys from previous schools that are still playing professionally overseas, and we've got guys that are in every profession you can think of after college too. But I think those 4 areas really kind of over 4. I mean, you probably aren't going to have them for 4 years anymore. I mean, that sounds great, but it's really unlikely. But even if you've got them for a year or 2 years and you can touch, obviously the 2 A's are going to get touched on probably more than the others. But, a basketball team, if you're together and all the diversity that comes with that, just the growth that can come from it personally too, is pretty fun to watch.
That's awesome. You're going to be successful. You're going to be really successful here. I feel it. We're going to help get the local business involved.
That'd be great.
And what's so cool to me is, so great, our real estate company, we could play a part and really see a difference in the team. You know, that's what's so cool at this level and the local, and you kind of become a part of it.
Yeah.
At the bigger stage, we give $3,000 and it makes no difference. You give $50,000, it makes no
you get a
difference.
letter in the
We can
mail.
make a difference.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And that's another thing that drew me to Coker too is, you know, at Spartanburg is great. It's a great place to live, but we're never going to be Wofford. I mean, Wofford runs the city.
Yeah.
And then after Wofford, you got upstate, you got another Division I, 4 miles down the road. And so even after we had made a run, got in the top 25, people still were unaware that we even had men going to Converse in the area. And
Wow.
so it's, but Coker and Hartsville kind of go hand in hand,
Yeah.
and the downtown and campus are almost one. And so, you know, if we can have successful teams, our women's team was in the Elite Eight last year at Coker, and so Mel's done a phenomenal job with them. But, you know, you got College Avenue that runs right into campus, and if every storefront's got a basketball schedule in the window and there's excitement for games, like, you know, that's the vision and the hope. But we've
That
got
can make
also
the whole
some
town
games, too.
better. It can make the whole town better.
Which is really what our podcast, we're wanting to elevate this area, the
Yeah.
PD region, bring to light what's going on.
Yeah.
And Coker men's.
And there's a
basketball.
lot of, you know, there's a lot of athletes in this area.
Yeah.
Florence, Hartsville.
Oh, yeah.
There's a ton of athletes. And it'd be cool to recruit some local guys that
Oh,
come
yeah.
play.
And we've got several on the team, and we've got, you know, from Columbia to here, and then some of the smaller little areas around Hartsville too. I mean, we had a camp the other day where we had 30 high school kids on campus, and they were all fairly local kids. So, you know, I think the more our best player at Converse was a kid from Spartanburg, and he just got his second contract in Germany and flew out last weekend. And so it's, we had 2 guys from Spartanburg and then a couple from the Greenville area. And so obviously more people come and watch when they know something about the kids in the area. And obviously we're very active in the portal, and we're going to try to get the best kids from there. But a lot of times it's going in the portal and finding guys that are from this area and then bringing them back and letting them finish out their career, kind of where it all started, and it comes full circle for them too. So I think a lot of it, I think there'll always be kids that want to play, but sports at the small private level, like I think 60 to 65% of the students at Coker right now are some form of an athlete. And so it's trying to find those. Spencer gets mad at me. I call them NARPs, non-athletic regular people. It's trying to go out but you've also, like, are those kids going to go to Clemson and party and have fun, or are they going to come to a small private school where the social life is dramatically different? And so I think that's where the struggle is. And I think now you can go to junior college or community college for 2 years, and most places you go for free. And so, you know, the cost at Coker is right around 47,000 this past year. And so and now you're not paying all that, you're getting academic aid and scholarships and those things, but still, like, I can go to community college for free, and I can learn a trade and get certified and go make money, and then not have student debt. So I think higher education in general, I think, is at a crossroads right now.
It is.
That is a tough hill to climb. I mean, I've kind of read a little bit about that, but not really understood it in the light you just put it in.
Yeah.
That's a significant challenge.
And so you look at all these small, like Coker was founded right 1900, Converse was 1889, and it's just like places that have been around for 120, 125 years, just like the draw to go to a smaller school and pay that much money is it's a hard one to sell.
But I bet if you did a study on the small schools that have really good athletic programs that the community's into and everybody's into,
that changes the game.
It changes the whole thing.
It does,
Yeah.
and it can keep a place going, and
Yeah.
and it can keep you know, community support. It can keep, you know, the money needed sometimes to make up a bad recruitment year for the institution, and you don't hit your goals and admissions, and but knowing that support's there, I mean, that changes things. I mean, I think Limestone and Gaffney, I think Gaffney is really like what do we do now without limestone? And the
Wow.
hotels there for teams that come and stay.
Yeah, that's a big-
parents that
yeah.
come and stay. And when you've got camps and when you've got
Yeah.
all types of stuff going on throughout the school year, now all those people aren't coming in. I think they're projecting a major loss just for the whole community.
They're feeling it. Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of going through that as a family. Like I said, I've got a 20-year-old who's a sophomore at USC, and then I've got a 16-year-old, my daughter, who is a junior at West Florence, and thinking about where for her to go.
Yeah.
We'd love for her to go to a smaller school, but
Yeah.
then I'm looking at 45 to 75 grand a year, and I'm like,
Yeah,
She's got to go to Coker.
that's it.
well, that's the thing.
That's
I mean, she'd be a great NARP.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You know,
We need them.
but it is. I mean, as a dad, I'm like, okay, she feels like she's going to fit better at a Coker
Oh,
than at
I
a
mean-
USC or a Clemson that's so big and overwhelming.
I mean, our class, our student teacher ratio is like 15 to 1
Yeah.
in classes. And so where are you going to learn better? Where are you going to get those? I mean, for us, we've got Sunoco literally,
Right
Yeah.
there.
2 minutes down the road from campus, and you got a Duke Energy plant in town too. So, I mean, you've got two major corporations that are right there that you could probably walk right down and find a Coker alum and say, hey, I just got this degree, and
Yep.
get your career started too. And so I think there's still value in the smaller schools for sure. I mean, I didn't want to go to a bigger school either. I mean, I want to keep playing basketball, and so obviously that played a role. But I think to lose them and just you either go to a big state school or you go to a community college, like I think that in between is good for a lot of people too.
I see it. I see it. Interestingly enough, my grandmother was one of the first graduates of Coker College.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
Wow.
cool.
So
So you need to give back. You need to do an endowment.
That's it. Just for men's basketball.
I need to have money to do an endowment.
You can do it. You
No,
can
I
do
get it. One in college. I think that, and then one
That's
more on the way.
Yeah,
That-
yeah,
that
yeah.
changes
You got,
things.
Yeah.
you got plenty of money headed to college.
Yeah, that's why I said I want to
That
keep
is my endowment.
I'm going to keep coaching in college because my kids can go there for free.
There
and
you
so
go.
I want to
Yeah, yeah.
ride that perk as long as I can.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I think there's been a big shift on, like, if I'm going to go $100,000 in debt, like, what am I getting out of it? You know, I'm going to be $100,000 in debt and have a salary of 40 grand. Like, it just doesn't
The math
make any
doesn't work.
sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And so, and then you read about the trade deficits and like the amount of welders and electricians and all those things and now those jobs are becoming the higher paying jobs. And like everybody that goes and gets an IT job now, like, are they going to be starting to get replaced by AI and all the different things? And so the demand in all the fields that have pretty much been, you got to go to college to get,
Yeah.
I don't know if I think the kids now are looking at it. And I think after COVID, all that really started to come to light when you went online at a lot of places, and the need to be on campus to learn really wasn't what. Now I think you get the social part of it, and I think not being on campus, you don't grow and you miss out on all that. But from a financial standpoint, like if I can take these 3 classes online, I can have a job and I don't have to pay room and board. Like, and I don't know. I think that's from COVID on. I think all that stuff has really changed.
Should Coker look at, okay, why don't we start, I think colleges like Coker should start looking at, why don't we put on programs that everybody's wanting?
Yeah.
And they can get that skill
Yeah.
and the college life.
I'm with
And
you.
then that's how it works.
Yeah, I think our president seems to be very forward thinking like that. She's in her 3rd or 4th year maybe, and I think I don't think Coker was in a great spot 4 or 5 years ago, and I think she has really, really done that, gone and find, I think the nursing program now at Coker is huge. And I think she kind of pinpointed, like, these are fields that we can attract students to. And so
Yeah.
I think studies have shown their students now want to get it over with faster than ever before. Like before it was like, you wanted to stretch those 4 years out. Now it's like cost and then timeline. How quick can I get out, get my degree, and then start making money? So I just think the university system needs to find a way to start to, and I know the community colleges are bigger into it, but those specific trade type programs. Like, why can't you go to a 4-year and get your welding
Yeah.
started, but also major
Yeah.
in business too, so then I can have my own
Start
deal.
your own welding business.
That's the answer
Yeah.
right there.
That is.
That
I think
is the
I
answer.
read yesterday that the government needs like
Yeah.
1 million welders
Yeah,
over the next 5
yeah,
years.
600,000, I think.
Yeah, just to
Just
take
to
care of the
maintain.
military equipment, just to maintain it, not
Just to
to bring
maintain.
new stuff on.
Yeah,
And they're like, where are we going to find these people?
And so I think that push then goes more to the community college or then the technical type high
Yeah.
schools. And
This is an interesting conversation. I mean, the whole changing landscape and the economy changing.
yeah,
I mean, it's fascinating. So, interesting that we got into this with a basketball
well,
coach, but it really affects what you're doing athletically. So-
it affects, it doesn't affect me as much, but it affects the school I work at.
Yeah.
And so if it affects the school I work at, then our budgets get cut, our scholarships get cut. If the students aren't there, then they can't fulfill all these other expenditures that they want to do. So, I mean, I think if our university is not forward thinking and attacking it, then you start to run that deficit. Well, we got to make up for it somewhere. So now, your operating budget's now 25% less than what it was, and now you got to go fundraise that money, and now you're begging for help, and those aren't fun places to be in.
Yeah.
I think you're going to find this community's pretty tight knit, and if we can really get the community behind you and
Yeah.
engaged, I think you can do something
Yeah, I
special.
mean,
Don't forget, Robert's in the portal.
All right,
I'm gonna get
the eligibility.
I'm gonna get in the portal. I'm gonna get in the
You need to
portal.
go there.
Well, what
Is
I'm
he trying to tell you something about Charles' business too? Trying to put you in the portal right now?
Not at all.
I'm gonna have to buy my way into playing. But dude, I'm excited. We're gonna, I know we're gonna be buddies.
Yeah.
I'm excited because our wives are
Oh, yeah.
friends,
That's
and
right.
so I know we'll be talking, and I'll try to keep everybody tuned in. And dude,
great.
come back anytime.
And all the games are live streamed too. So
Awesome.
even if through Flow Sports, and so it's a small subscription you got to pay, but you get all the games, and all that money trickles back in some form or fashion back to the athletic department too. And so even if you can't make it to a home game, like just knowing that there's people out that it goes a long way for our players too. Just knowing that people actually care what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
means a lot.
Dude, I love the idea of going to dinner downtown Hartsville,
Yeah.
and walking to the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a great
That's
night.
So nice.
Yeah.
We love Hartsville. I mean, beautiful downtown.
It is.
Campus is beautiful.
It
I mean,
is.
Yeah.
Hartsville is a beautiful.
It is. You got
town.
the lakes, and I think it's a lot of people. When you're thinking about taking the job at Coca, they're like, "Yeah, do you want to live in Hartsville?" I mean, that's usually the first. You're in Spartanburg. Do you really want to go from a city or a county that's one of the top 10 fastest growing in the country to a smaller place? And I mean, we've loved it so far.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear.
So it's October 1st today.
Yep.
Season is here.
It's here.
So is practice. I mean, you've already started practice, but when's the first game?
Yeah, so we still D1 started last week. We've still got about another week and a half
Okay.
until official practice gets going. We've been able to practice. We get 4 hours a week with them on the court, and so we've really ramped it up with. So we've got about 20 guys in the program, and so they're all new to me. I'm all new to them, and so even though we brought 8 guys from Converse that I signed, I still had never coached them. They were signees,
Yeah.
and so there's been a big learning curve here in the fall. But our guys have done a great job with it, and then we start official practice. I think it's the 11th or 12th of October, and then the first game we play November 13th and 14th, that Friday, Saturday at home.
Nice.
We play each day there, so more
Okay.
people we can get to come out to that.
Yeah. No, all right.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
Friday
That's
night,
awesome. So
13th.
you're feeling good? You feeling good about this season?
Yeah, I think everybody's optimistic at this time.
Yeah,
It's
awesome.
It's a fun time to be a new coach at a place you've not lost a game, so everybody
Yeah.
thinks you're the answer.
Yeah.
And then you lose one, and then we'll see what.
Well,
the
don't
excitement-
forget us when you win the national
Oh, that's right.
championship.
We'll come right.
Exactly.
This will be the first
That's right.
podcast we do.
Yeah.
There we go.
Awesome.
There we go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, dude.
Hey, I
Good to see you,
appreciate it,
man.
Thank you, guys.